Alright, let me turn this heater off. This is going to be a real quick video on this EnginStar power pack that I picked up a while ago. Let me change the camera. It's got the charger on top, works for my wife's phone, doesn't work for mine. So if you've got that technology, but it's a slow charge, it's not a quick charge. It's a 300 watt, 296 watt hours. And that's the actual how many watts you can pull off of it. Let's go over the features real quick. AC. When you use the AC button, you're pulling extra wattage for the inverter, converter, whatever it is, to the DC to AC. And you've got to add that into how much watts you drain. I've got a CPAP. I ran it for an hour and didn't notice any drain, or almost an hour, I'd say 40 minutes. And people are saying you can get a couple days with the average CPAP. It's got USBs, a USB-C. These are outputs. This is the input you use to charge it. When you charge this, don't go through an extension cord, go directly into the wall. It charges a lot faster. Now, this light is from a Goal Zero 400 I had. Old technology, heavy. It's a battery. It's what it was. Big car battery like thing. It's 400 watts. Don't know how many watt hours because they weren't listing that back then. This is 300 watts and a fraction of the weight. Half as small as the 400 watt I had in the older technology. And this one, it has a, I call it a cigarette lighter. It's a power plug for a car. There's no cover to it, so you got to watch out it doesn't get dirty. Another thing about this power pack, that's on. If it doesn't sense any power coming in, it will shut off. And I'm going to shut it off. So if you go, it will stay on. I think it's two push of the button. Within 3 seconds, it will stay on until you turn it off. I'm going to turn it off. It has a light, which actually comes in handy. It's got some blinking modes. Turn it on. When you have the AC plug on, you get the extra line. I just heard the fan kick on for a second. I've never heard it running past just the initial kick in, so it's real quiet if it's running. And these will tell you how many watts you're pulling off. I don't need the AC. Again, this is my light I picked up with the Gear Zero. Handy little light. It only works on the power plug for the car or the cigarette lighter. It does have a other input, but it won't fit into this. So I have to run it through the power cord. The car power outlet. Now I have got some LED lights. They make a variety of string lights. See, it just shut down because it's not pulling enough power. Now that should stay on permanent. Because these lights, the ones especially the ones I got with my Goal Zero, just does not Goal Zero. Doesn't pull in. It's showing 0 watts, so this thing will run forever. I've got a light strip on a PVC half-inch pole that's about 6 feet long. It pulls like 5 watts. It's got a remote control, but I'm going to use that camping or when I'm out fishing and I just want to be able to have a light source that I can hang up somewhere. Pull it out of the car, take this out, hook them up, and I got lights out in the middle of nowhere and I don't need electricity. I've used this at a show, and if you use incandescent, it will burn through them depending on the wattage. Because if I make lamps, art lamps, so I'm plugging them into the AC. that increases the output by an automatic 10 watts, 13 watts. And then on top of that, a 40, 50, whatever, 60 watt light bulb. So it will drain it a lot faster than the LEDs. So I recommend, if you're going to use this for a light source, strictly LEDs. And it will last for a long time. I don't know how long this will last, but it will last me probably days if that's all I'm using. But I picked it up on a chance because I've seen some videos. I didn't know that much about them. There have been some problems. When I did my research on these, this one, the high dollar ones, the Jacobies, I think that's what they're called, all of their negative responses and 1 stars were around 8 to 11% across the board without exception, which I find suspicious because it's so constant, and all of these are not near the same price. It's a big price variance, and even locations where they're made. So I think something screwy is going on with who's making comments. I've been real happy with it. I'm going to take it to a show this coming weekend. It'll be a 2-day. I'll be running some LEDs off of it. Bring it home the first night, recharge it. It won't take long to charge it because it's not going to drain that much. And for anybody that does art shows or craft shows, if you want electricity that the venue gives you, you're going to pay for it. It's expensive. This cost me under $200, and I've paid almost $100 for 1 day's worth of electricity provided to by a venue. So you do a couple art shows, and this thing's paid for itself. And you can use it around the house. You can use it for a lot of other things. So I recommend that if you're looking for something around 300 watts, this one so far, haven't had it long, but so far it's been really good. I've really liked it. It doesn't get warm when I'm running power off of it, and I drained it down to where it shut off. I wasn't paying attention to it. Forgot I had an incandescent bulb in my lamp, and after about 6 hours with the size bulb I had and running the AC converter, it drained it. Didn't take it long to charge back up, and it's working fine. So they can solve a problem for you if power is what you need, you know. And they come in different sizes. Eventually I'd like to get me a 1000 watt. They're not very much bigger than this, and people are saying they're not that much heavier than these either with the new battery technology. Now, there is an issue with battery life. From what I understand, these have a long battery life. It goes through a lot of cycles. But unlike a gas generator, or unlike a propane generator, those things can last for years or decades if you upkeep them. This, if you keep using it over and over and over again, you're going to get the batteries where they're not going to take a charge or not take as long a charge or much of a charge. But generators are expensive. You can't run them indoors in a lot of places, and they're a whole lot bigger than this. A gas generator, my 1800, and it's 1800 watts, is big and heavy compared to this. I got to mess with gas. You can't get a smaller one than really that. You can get small ones at Harbor Freight that are like $100, but you know, you're still messing with gas. But anyway, I'm done ranting. Been real happy with this so far. That's what it says it's going to do. Plug it in. Like I said, I ran it down to pretty much nothing, and they know my son noticed it when the light went out, and he started looking and said this was drained. No flickering. If it flickers, this one did a little bit, and it's done that from day one. It's the light, it's not the unit. So it works good, nice, and so far I've been real happy with it and think it's worth the money. But if you're looking at one of these little power banks, I can tell you the EnginStar that I got has been worth the money and has done everything it said it was going to do. But thanks for watching the video.